I'm ready. Hello, I'm Taylor Franklin, King 48 of the Virginia Beach Neptune Festival. EllRay Jake is Magic by Sally Warner. Chapter 18 is what I will be reading to you today. Abracadabra, EllRay Jakes. Time is going by very slowly now, and there is a roaring sound in my ears. What if I hurl on stage? Will that count as talent, Mr. Principal? I'd have to move if that happened. Miss Myrna has set up a table with a white cloth on it behind the curtain. My two new illusions are on it, waiting for me. I've even get to use a microphone, but I probably won't remember what I'm supposed to say. And Mom and Dad and Alfie are somewhere out there in the audience. At least my dress-up shirt still looks pretty good. I skipped lunch, that's why. Now, the principal says, for your viewing pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I present a magic act that will astound you. You will have to watch carefully through, though, because these tricks are small, so they might be hard to see. But before we begin, I need a volunteer from the audience to assist our young magician. Me, I hear a bunch of little kids yell, but the principal and I have worked this out in advance. Who is it that I see volunteering, the principal says, peering out at the audience. Why, it is your very own Mrs. Sanchez. Really? I hear Mrs. Sanchez say from where she is sitting, and everyone laughs because they can tell she didn't know her name would be called. I imagine Mrs. Sanchez hurrying up onto the stage and standing next to the principal. Still hidden by the curtain, I walk on the center of the stage like I'm heading to the principal's office, in trouble and doomed. But been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, as my dad always says. Without further ado, the principal says, I give you Oak Glen Primary School's only magician, EllRay Jakes. And the curtain parts. Mrs. Sanchez walks over to join me, her heels clicking on the scuffed up stage. She looks extra pretty today, probably because of the party later. She's wearing a yellow dress. Good afternoon and welcome to my world of magic. I boom into the microphone in my deepest, most magical voice, the one my dad helped me find last night. Mrs. Sanchez smiles her encouragement, and I suddenly remember every reason from the past year why I like her so very much. I'm going to miss her next year. First, I say, I present to you this completely empty but beautiful, very beautiful bag. And I pick up the big, bright, red magic change bag. It has gold dragons on the outside, and is black on the inside, and it has a zipper at the bottom. Long tassels dangle from each end of the zipper. I show the bag to everyone, including Mrs. Sanchez, of course. It's empty, she announces in a loud, clear voice. A change bag is made out of silky cloth. It hangs from a wood circle that the magician holds using the long wood handle attached to it. There is a hidden compartment inside the bag, which can only be opened by a flat metal switch under the change bag's handle, right next to the bag. But Mrs. Sanchez can't see any of this. I will now unzip the bottom of the bag, I say, to show you that it truly is empty. Mrs. Sanchez? I say, swinging the unzipped bag on her way again. Will you please stick your arm through this bag and show the audience how empty it is? And her arm goes through the dark inside of the bag and comes straight out the bottom. Totally empty, she announces, waving hi to the audience while she's at it. And everyone laughs. Mrs. Sanchez pulls her hand out of the bag. I zip it back up. But what's this? I ask everyone, working the metal switch under the handle to open up the hidden compartment. Why, it's a beautiful scarf. And from out of the hidden compartment, I pull a long, skinny, rainbow-colored scarf. Yay! People cheered, and I bowed to Mrs. Sanchez and handed it to her in a fancy, magical way. She really does look surprised. She put her hand to her chest, staggers back a couple steps, and recovers. Then she wraps the scarf around her neck a few times like a model in one of my mom's magazines. I knew Mrs. Sanchez would be a good, lovely assistant. I wish Corey was here to see this. I put down the change bag and I pick up the empty plastic flower pot and magic wand tipped at each end with a golden handle. Here's the picture of the inside of the book. Dad drew a little X on one hand, but I'm the only one who knows it's there. And for my final trick, I tell everyone loudly to quiet the excited conversation that has sprung up. I present to you this empty flower pot. I pick it up, then rattle my wand inside the flower pot to show just how empty it is. Mrs. Sanchez, I say, handing the pot to her. She examines it inside and out and nods at the audience, and I take it back. But what is this? I say, putting my magic wand inside the pot, X side down. I press the tip of the wand down hard against the bottom of the pot, and it latches on tight because there are really strong magnets hidden in both the bottom both the pot bottom and the end of the wand. Abracadabra, I say. I tug on the wand, and up pops the huge, colorful bunch of feather flowers that were crammed down under the pot's false bottom. Ta-da! I say, and I hand the new blooming flower pot to Mrs. Sanchez, who gasps loudly in the microphone, holds out the flower pot up high for everyone to see, then presses her hand to her forehead as if she might faint from astonishment. And everyone is clapping like crazy, even the principal, who has never seen these two tricks before. Somewhere out there, my mom and dad and my sister are clapping too. Alfie's probably telling the person sitting next to her that I'm just faking. Mrs. Sanchez and I bow, and the curtain closes as the audience keeps cheering. I did it! I'm the new king of the mountain, for a few minutes anyway. That was amazing, EllRay, Mrs. Sanchez says, handing me back the scarf and the flower pot as Mrs. Myrna rolls away my magic table, and Jared and Stanley take the stage. Jared looks like he's about to pass out, and Stanley's hip-hop pants hang so low that they look like they're going to fall off, which would be a big hit with most of the audience. But the principal made him staple them to his shorts, so I know they won't. I always knew you were magic, EllRay, Mrs. Sanchez says, hugging me tight. Thanks, I say, wriggling away. And thanks for helping me. It was fun. For me too, sweetie, Mrs. Sanchez says. And a few kids, even some of the older ones, high-five and fist-bump me as the principal introduces Jared and Stanley's act. They changed songs, by the way. I stumbled to my seat in the audience, and the rest of the talent show whizzes by. It includes Jared and Stanley's hip-hop dance, which is even better than before, a girl doing gymnastics on a mat, while a sparkly light ball twirls behind her. Those older fifth-grade girls, all dressed in pink, dancing so hard to the Barbie Girl song that the principal starts looking nervous. A bunch of sixth-grade boys dressed up like zombies, doing the old Thriller dance. And those are just the acts I remember. The Oak Glen Primary School Talent Show was fun, and I got to be part of it. Thank you so much.